What's going on, guys? Tyler here, back with another Elementor video, and in today's video we are talking about using the header and footer brand new feature that is being worked on by Elementor for Elementor free users. Now previously this was not possible with the Elementor free version, but it is going to be possible with the Hello theme from Elementor 2.4, and they're in beta right now. So let's talk about beta and why this is going to be a really cool feature. Of course, guys, if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for stopping by. Smash that nice red looking subscribe button if you wouldn't mind, and be notified of upcoming videos just like this one. And of course, guys, I always recommend Elementor Pro. I really think it is a truly phenomenal plugin, and you'll see there are limitations to this feature today. It is a great addition, but it just doesn't have the functionality of Elementor Pro. So if you guys are interested in designing a full-on header and footer, making all the customizations that you want, click on that link down below and check out Elementor Pro, see what kind of price you can get for it, and get your hands on it today. Alright guys, with no further ado, let's go ahead and jump into my computer and talk about this cool feature that is coming to Elementor. Now, I received an email just the other day because I am a beta tester for Elementor, and it talks about some new features that are coming to the Hello Elementor theme. Some of these features that are coming to this will be the header and footer design capabilities, as well as some customizations that you can actually make to the header and footer. Also, this will not be affecting, no code will actually be loaded into Elementor Pro users' pages, so you don't have to worry about this slowing down your Elementor Pro website. So if we click this Learn More button, we can actually go over to GitHub, and we can see that we're talking about this 2.4 beta release. And if you guys want to actually go here and actually read it, you can definitely do that. Just look them up on GitHub. It's Elementor/Hello theme on GitHub. But right over here, I do just want to show you. So this is kind of what we're talking about. And as you can see, if I zoom in here a little bit, we can see these site settings that are right here. And that's actually what we're going to get to today. And then further on, you can see Elementor has actually kind of given us some different examples of how this header will work. We have kind of like this default where your logo and tagline are on the left, and then you have the menu over there on the right, and then you have the inverted, which is just the opposite of those, and then you have the centered right here. Now for footers, we have pretty much the same thing. We have a little bit of content on the left, and then the menu on the right, and then inverted, and then centered as well. Now, I actually wanted to get my hands messy and try this out, so I went ahead and created a new website off my subdomain, so I'm actually ready to start from scratch and install Elementor. Alright guys, so like I said, I have a new website here. This is a fresh install of WordPress. Let's just pretend that this is your Elementor free website. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to go over to plugins. I'm going to go ahead and hit add new, and I'm going to find Elementor. So I am installing Elementor right here. And guys, just a quick shout out to my Webhost SiteGround. They are amazing. This whole process of creating a subdomain and installing WordPress on my subdomain was ridiculously easy. If you guys are looking for a web host or need to upgrade, or maybe your old web host is expiring and you're looking for a new one, check out that link down below in the description. They are the fastest web host I have ever used, and they are truly amazing. Now let's go ahead and just continue on here. We need to create our first page, so we'll do that right here. Whoa, you can see this looks a little crazy, but it's just because we haven't added any kind of stylization to the website. I'm going to go ahead and just create an example page, and then we'll see how the header and footer work. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and install the Hello by Elementor theme. This is not released yet. This is the version 2.4 beta, so you're probably on Hello Elementor 2.3. This is 2.4 beta, which will be coming in the near future. And it's all installed. Let's go ahead and activate it, and then let me show you actually how this works. So we're going to go over here to visit our website. We need to be on the front end of our website. Now you can see we've got a lot going on here. Nothing really looks stylized the way that we want it, so that's okay. That's just because the Hello theme is just basically a blank theme. What we're really trying to do is edit this header right here in the footer. All right, so let's go ahead and just click customize here. And when you're on your home page and you're logged into your WordPress admin, that should be up there. You just click on that. And then down here we have header and footer. Now right over here you can see it has the options for us, but we're gonna need to go into our site settings in Elementor to actually access those settings. So we click start here, and then right here we're in the site settings in the back end of Elementor. We can click on header. All right, so we now have the header settings in front of us, and this is kind of nice. We do actually have surprisingly quite a few stylization options here. It's definitely not like customizable like when you're using Elementor Pro, but it is kind of a good start for us. It allows us to kind of get a basic header and footer down. All right, now the first option here is the site logo. We can actually turn this on or off there, and you can see it's this text right here, which is also a link. It links to the home page, but you can turn that on or off right there. And then if we need more settings for the actual site logo, because that's not actually an image, right? So if we go down here, we can actually change that. Right now it's set to title, but if you want to set it to a logo, you can actually go ahead and add your logo to site identity. Right here, it has a link to it. You'll upload your logo, and then you can actually go ahead and size your logo or do whatever you need to with it right there. If not, you can go ahead and just select the title and you can set it right there. You can go ahead and change the text color, so we can change the color to whatever we want. We can change the typography if we like a different font or something like that. We can actually do that. We can change the size of it as well if we need to adjust that. But you have quite a few options here if you just want a title as a logo. Next, back in the header settings, we have the tagline, and this is also defined in your site identity settings. So if we go down here to tagline, we can actually go ahead, click on site identity here and define that there. If you don't even want a tagline, you can just simply go back up here and turn it off. All right, and then the next option is the menu. We can actually go ahead and turn this on or off, but what we need to see here is if your menu is not popping up over here on the right-hand side, you'll need to come down here to the menu settings, go ahead and select your menu there, and you may even need to update and refresh, because sometimes it just doesn't pop up until you actually update it and then refresh, but then you'll get this menu popping up over here on the right. Now with the menu settings, we have a few different options. We have the menu layout. We can either have a horizontal like that, or we can have the hamburger little icon. You click it and it actually drops down with the menu just like that. Another few little options. Breakpoint is going to refer to the point at which your menu actually turns into the hamburger icon instead of being the full horizontal menu. And you'll actually want that because at some point, if you're on like a mobile view, it'll look better with just the icon instead of actually the menu items listed side by side. And we do have a few other settings here. You can change the color of the text, or maybe even change the typography if you want, change that font or that size, whatever you need to do right there on the menu. But let's go ahead and continue on with more header settings. So now we've come to the point under layout where we're actually going to adjust how the header looks. So we can go ahead and click layout. This is the default. Again, like I said, this will put your logo on the left and your menu on the right. If you hit inverted, it basically just inverts and switches that around. So you have the menu on the left and your logo on the right. And the last option might be my favorite. That is actually centered. If we click on that, you can see we could put a logo, even like a graphic logo, up top in the center, and then have menu items down below it. Now I'm going to switch it back to default here because I want to show you what this does, this next option here where it says width. We're going to go ahead and change this from box to full width, and when we do that, you can see everything pushes to the edges of the screen. I don't know if you can see over here on the right, but everything basically pushes to the edges of the screen. So now over here we have a gap, and this gap actually moves everything inward away from the edges of the screen. So you can actually push things inward like that. However, what I like to do is boxed. Boxed keeps the actual frame of the website, so you're keeping all of your content in a box no matter how big their screen is, as long as it's not smaller than that boxed width, it will keep it to the edges of that box. And again, you'll need to adjust your gap. Make sure your gap is set to basically 0 because we want it to be at the edges of that box. So imagine we have kind of an imaginary box where my mouse is, right around here, and around the edges right around here. So basically that's what it's aligning to. It's aligning to those edges, and you can kind of tell there. Of course, you can adjust that boxed width right here if you need to. You can make it nice and wide or even smaller, but it's kind of nice to maybe have your header the same width as your content, or maybe just a little bit bigger as your content. And last but not least, guys, is the actual background type. Do we want to go ahead and put an image in the background? Do we want to change it to a color? Do we want to go ahead and change this to a gradient or anything like that? That's actually how we're going to adjust the background color of our header. Now, if you're running into this kind of issue where the background color is kind of just boxed in, what we're going to need to do is actually switch the width over to full width, and we'll bring that gap in just a little bit so it makes a nice header at the top, but you also have your background color expanding across the entire thing. All right, guys, and that pretty much wraps it up for the header. This is what it looks like right here. We have our title and logo over here. We have our menu options and items right over here, and we have this kind of nice header that takes up pretty much the whole full width of the page, and we used a background color there, and I think it looks pretty good. And again, we can go ahead and switch this up if we want to look at some other layouts. We have the inverted as well as the centered right there, and that kind of brings everything to the center and makes that header a little bit thicker there. Now let's go ahead and talk about the footer and how we can implement that for the free version of Elementor. All right, guys, so to do that, we'll actually go back over here to our site settings, and we'll go over here to footer and click on that. And you can see we have again a long list of options for our footer settings. Now, a lot of these settings are very similar to the header, so I'm not going to spend too much time going over them, but basically what we have are the logo, the tagline, the menu, the copyright, and again, a layout, which we can switch to default, inverted, or centered. So I'm going to go ahead and just design one so you can kind of see how you would do it. But right up here, I do want my logo, but if we go down to the site logo, it's set to a graphic logo. I don't want that. I want to go ahead and switch it over to a title. There we go. We've got that title that I established right up here. And again, maybe I would select this unique or special font so they can actually see kind of like some consistency between my header logo and my footer logo here. And again, if you're using that graphic, put them in both places. It'll look really nice. But let's go back up here. Tagline, we can leave the tagline. I think that looks kind of nice at the bottom there. Over for menu, let's go over here to menu. Again, we need to select the menu, and I'm probably going to have to update and refresh to actually get that menu to show up. But down here, we can go to copyright. If we want to select here, we can see it says all rights reserved. I'm just going to go ahead and add the year and go ahead and set that. And I'm going to go ahead and update and refresh and see if these changes actually go through. All right, it looks like everything went through and everything is working perfectly here. Again, if you want to go ahead and actually make some design tweaks, you can do that in each individual item here for the logo, tagline, menu, or copyright. And again, I'm not going to make too many changes there because I want to show you this layout. Here we have the default. Now the default is the logo on the left, the menu in the middle, and the copyright on the right. But we can go ahead and click inverted, and this basically just switches the copyright and the logo there. And then we can go ahead and click centered, and you can see this centers everything. And it might look a little bit jumbled there, but it really would look really good if it had a graphic logo there. If you just had the menu items and you just had a small, maybe even shrink the size of the text for the copyright, and you'll have a pretty small and concise footer there. All right, guys, that about wraps it up for this video. I really do appreciate you stopping by today. And again, if you're new to the channel, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure and smash that nice red looking subscribe button, join the family, and be notified of upcoming videos just like this one. Now guys, this header and footer is very basic. There's so many more customizations that you can do on Elementor Pro. You can basically, like, you know how you would design a page with Elementor Pro? You can basically do that and add in elements and widgets wherever you want on your header and footer when you're using Elementor Pro. It makes it super nice, super customizable, and it's very, very easy to use. So if you guys are interested in Elementor Pro, please consider clicking clicking that link down below and check and see what kind of price you can get for Elementor Pro, because it really is an amazing, amazing plugin. So thank you guys so much for stopping by. I will catch you guys in the next video. Have a great day and make it a very successful week. Take care.